welcome back to my channel. Today, as you saw in the intro of this video, I am using the Fenty Beauty palette today. I went out of my comfort zone because so many of you guys were so awesome in my last video, and you really let me know some things that you were wanting to see, and one of the things you had said was, yeah, I like these fast forward tutorials that you've been doing, and I like to do them that way versus the entire like dedicated video to a tutorial, because for the most part, a lot of people don't watch full tutorials, but some people just want something fast and easy to be like inspiration. So I was gonna do that in the beginning of this video with this palette, and I went into more of the purples and golds, and that's a little out of my comfort zone lately. I feel like I go through phases with my makeup. Do you do this? Where it's like sometimes I'll be in this like pinky coral phase and I'll just like live in that space for a year, and then I will move on and go to maybe a more natural look or all bold looks, or as you know, orange looks. I do love those. But today I wanted to do a little out of my comfort zone because you said you wanted some more colorful eye looks using some of our Boxycharm palettes. And since I am still trying to figure out how I feel about everything before my upcoming quarterly review, I wanted to do a whole eye look with just this baby. And that's what I did. I am actually really liking it, considering I have not delved into plummy shades in a while. I've been working in my crease a little bit just to kind of like smooth and blend, and I feel like this purple shade here in the center gave me a little sass, but not too much. It had a lot of fallout, keep that in mind, but I'm pretty pleased with everything that happened here on my lids today. This was a lot of fun to create. But that's not what this video is about. So let's get into what this video is really about. Pan porn. Can I say that on YouTube? Pan porn. I did it again. Whoops. Something else you guys let me know that you wanted in the comments of my last video, because I am wanting to put out content during this time that a lot of you want to see. And so many of you said a lot of things, but one in particular was you'd love to see more makeup that I have hit pan on. And I don't think I've touched on that topic since like the fall of last year, maybe winter, like the beginning of, but let's review some of the things that I have hit pan on. And yes, that does include a few eyeshadow palettes. As you know, I have so many here in my collection. That is a tricky beast to do, but I have managed to do so. Some of this might be repeats for some of you if you have watched my pan videos previously, but there is definitely progress, I feel like, on a lot of these. And I've not really been good about taking photos of pans, honestly, because my phone is near death and I have too many photos on my phone as it is. But my sweet husband realized how much my phone was a struggle during this whole quarantine because he's been home with me more. So over the weekend, he ended up ordering me the newest and next upgrade, I guess. So hopefully I'll be able to take more photos soon without running out of storage. I know, it feels like such an old school problem, like running out of storage on your phone. Why do I always have that issue? Because I take too many photos of my dogs. That's why. Whatever. Today, I just kind of want to jump into some pan porn talk with you. Let's get a little dirty with it. Isn't pan like, I feel like when people tell me that they've hit pan on something, I'm like, ooh, talk dirty to me. Because it is like it's an accomplishment. I feel like that is like that next level of using your makeup. And in a tiny beauty space, that's what I try to do a lot. Where to begin? Where to begin? Whew. I'm so excited. I'm gonna start with something that I did not think I was gonna hit pan on already. And this one is a newer item that I have hit pan on. I'm not sure if any of you have noticed in like my intros when I've been trying on makeup or when I've been going back to this product, because I have talked about it quite a bit. Thank you, Boxycharm. But this gold bar by Rima, I've already hit pan on. A lot of you let me know that you've really been enjoying the darker colors on my brows, and as many of you know, I'm also working on growing out the front part of my brows because I'm shedding like a chihuahua. Do chihuahuas shed? I don't know. I know Penny and Cooper shed, but they're doxy mixes. I shed like a puppy, okay? I shed right up here. So I have been loving diving into this, apparently to the point that there is some definite pan in the deep brown tone. Alexa, turn off the sound machine. Sorry about that extra noise, but maybe that'll help a little. We had this talk in the last video. If you missed my last video or everything that I've been referencing the whole front half of this video, I'm gonna link the last video where I'm letting you know things are just different right now since a lot of us are in quarantine. My husband's home. I'll link that above if you missed it. And feel free to still leave me your tips and things that you would like to see in the upcoming weeks, because I'm gonna be adjusting my content here if you missed that. But back to this baby. I am really, really loving, and trying powders again. And I feel like powders aren't like revolutionary. I've absolutely had them in my beauty space before. This one actually kind of reminds me of an old e.l.f. product that I have in my collection, but I feel like I'm gonna start side tangenting about makeup, which you know I can do. But really quickly, if you are a babe on a budget, an old school product that's a throwback for me that I still have a fresh one of because I actually bought it a while back and Boxycharm kept sending me good stuff, so I didn't need to open up my backup. But this is an e.l.f. eyebrow kit. Yeah, it just calls it the Gel and Powder Eyebrow Kit, and in the shade, what are you in the shade of? Dark. It is this tiny little compact. A gel, a powder, and a brush. I used to be obsessed with this little combo here and this brush because I didn't have other brushes. But this used to be what I would reach for all the time for brows when I first started my channel like 2.5, 3 years ago. Now I've kind of upgraded and tried other things, but I still have this because it is that good. And I kind of compared this powder to this. That tells you how good this little product is. It's clearly too light as far as the dark goes, so I would need to use the gel more. That's what I did back in the day. But that's what that honestly reminded me of. So I think I knew how to work with it so quickly because of my past experience with e.l.f. e.l.f., great job being inexpensive and awesome that I could compare you to higher end products. Great job. That was a little side tangent, sorry. I'm actually surprised how quickly I have hit pan on the brown tone because we only got this, at the back half end of last year from Boxycharm. So that shows you how much I have truly been using this and loving this. I'm even now sitting here fudging with my brows a little bit going, is there a little dip there? I'm so picky about my brows. Just don't look at my brows. But that's just more of a me thing as I'm growing them out. You could even use this little brush here to be like, ooh, little touch up. I hardly use these little brushes. I actually forget they're in here, but for some reason, I never get rid of them right away. I don't know why. Now I'm just fussing with my makeup in the middle of this video. Ha! Moving along. Pan on this baby, and I'm really obviously loving it. I told you guys in my last video that I knew I was about to hit a brand new patch of pan on this next high-end, high-quality item. I actually had this before Boxycharm gave it to us in a Boxy Luxe, so I did gift this away to one of you guys. And I'm like already revving in my brain going, if nothing new is on the market by the time I finish this up, probably in the next maybe 6 to 8 months, I may be repurchasing this because it is that good. And I've had this for a while. This is the Tarte Park Avenue Princess Chisel palette. Can you just take a brief moment to appreciate all of the pan that you see in its glory right here? Look at that pan. That's full-on pan porn if I have ever seen it. At this point, I don't even remember what came first, the bronzer or the powder that I hit pan on. I think it may have been the powder up here for highlighting, but I have clearly loved and used this a bunch. I've been delving more into Princess Cut over the past like 6 months or so, and believe it or not, I'm even starting to go into the deepest shade over here, Crown, for like a deeper chisel sometimes when I'm wanting to do a real lift to that cheekbone that God forgot to give me, but I'm adding it in myself. The powders on here you saw me use this morning. I love, even if I don't use this palette for a chisel as far as like carving out these cheekbones, I love delving into these two powders after I do some nose contour and then just do it under my eyes and on my nose just to kind of like smooth everything out, make everything look seamless and brightened. These do a great job of brightening and highlighting, and these for contours are stunning. I have used these on my face for years now. I've even used them on my crease, on my eye looks when I don't have something like to just start an eye look with. This has also worked great as well. I really love this. I've traveled with this, and this pan is just gonna keep coming as I keep using it. So excited to see more pan on this. Ooh, another bronzer that I have definitely hit so much pan on that I feel like it has really solidified this product and this brand for me, because at first I was not in love. but I think that was more of a me working my way through a new product kind of vibe. This is the number 7 bronzer, and this is in the shade Maple. Look at how much pan is on here. I think the majority of the pan that was hit on this was from all 2019. There was probably a peak of pan, maybe in the beginning of 2019, but this sucker has been my go-to bronzer for day-to-day use. You can build it and you can go light with it. It really just is so versatile. It very much reminds me of another drugstore item that unfortunately I will not be purchasing in the future, but I am going to be talking about because I have hit pan on it and I'm trying to finish it up. That is the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. This bronzer is also very creamy and buttery, and it blends beautifully, and you can see how much pan is on this baby. I've had this one for a long time too. I think this one came before this one, but there isn't too much overlap as far as like a long time lapse in between. I am a bronzy goddess, as you can tell. I love my bronzers. The difference now is I will be repurchasing this and not this because if you have not heard, and I don't want to get too deep into it, Physicians Formula kind of had a situation similar to Wet n Wild where they were found to be selling in, I believe, mainland China, and they are no longer considered 100% cruelty free. So I'm not going to be tossing my dollars that way anymore. I don't have a lot of details about that. I don't like to get too much into that, but I can link some stuff below if you are interested in learning more about the Physicians Formula no longer being considered cruelty free. And I did double check just now even, and it is cruelty free for number 7 as far as a brand goes. So I really love this, and what I think that they're comparable about is the fact that they're both very blendable. You could go light or go really into it with the bronzer. You can really carve out that cheekbone if you want with either of these products. And they're both a little bit more expensive at the drugstore, so I feel like they're very comparable brands as far as that goes. My money is now going to be going with the number 7 bronzer, and I feel like now clearly with enough pan on both of these I can make that informed decision for myself to be like, yeah, these are both really good, and I've loved both of them now for a solid year plus, more than a year for this one, but now I'm going to be moving my money and purchases to this, and I'm so excited to finish this up and try some more stuff from them. All right, this isn't really a pan moment, but I noticed when I was doing my makeup this morning for you guys on camera, I'm almost finished with this, and this is a liquid product, so this is like the pan version of for concealer. This is my ColourPop No Filter Concealer. And as you can see by the tube itself, I've hit pan, tube, whatever you want to call it on this baby, and I love this. My shade here is Light 16, and this may be my 4th of these. It may be my 4th. Is it my 5th? I don't know. I've lost track through the house moves and everything through the years. I really love their no filter concealer. How do you guys feel about their newer face products that they've been coming out with? Because I have been eyeballing them knowing that this one was going to be my next concealer that kicks the dust. So I'm trying to figure out what will be my next inexpensive ColourPop purchase in the future. I still got other stuff I'm working through, but I'm almost sad this is done because this is a great product for going under the eyes and doing this nice lightening up and brightening of under the eyes, but still gives you coverage for those under eye circles that you get sometimes. It happens. I was digging in the bottom of this jar today to try to find more products. So this one is going to be going very, very soon, and I totally thought it was worth honorable mention in a pan video. All right, you ready to talk dirty with some blush? I am. Let's talk about the e.l.f. You've heard me talk about this if you've seen any of my previous pan videos. The e.l.f. Candid Coral Blush. I'm still using this. I'm still riding it out. I got this from like Amazon when I first started my channel years ago. And I was told then by so many other beauty YouTubers when I was starting this whole journey that this inexpensive e.l.f. blush was a dupe for the Orgasm NARS blush. And I tried this and was like, I actually really, really like this blush. It's a beautiful tone that goes with a lot of different bronzers, and it's very complementary to my skin tone. So this is one that I have had in my collection before I had really any other blushes, because I wasn't a blush girl at all when I started this whole journey. So now you guys know that I have warmed up to blushes, and I've been wearing them much more consistently, probably for the past year, year and a half. But this was the one that started it all for me, and I am still working on this. I would say I still pull this out a few times a month just to kind of do a nice spread on my cheeks, whether if it's a full coverage day or a light coverage day. So I had to bring this out. Now I know you've probably seen this for a while if you've been following me, but you know then that this one's still good. Love it. Candid Coral from e.l.f. Obsessed. Okay, who wants to talk highlighters? I have two in front of me that are higher end, but I got both of them from a Boxycharm, so I don't even feel guilty like telling you how much I love these. I'm gonna start where my love affair began with highlighters. We're gonna throw it back to some old school Ofra and the old component. Who remembers these things that we were always afraid our highlighter was gonna break because these suckers are not very comforting when you're traveling. I used to wrap this Rodeo Drive Ofra highlighter in bubble wrap or washcloths anytime I had to take it with me somewhere, because this is a very fragile product and this component is not keeping everything together. Luckily, they have since upgraded their packaging, but you guys know Rodeo Drive is a staple favorite for me. I am absolutely wearing it on my face today, and this is the highlighter that introduced me to the nice high-end highlighters that made me stop in my tracks and do a double take, going, whoa. I look real pretty with that. Like, I'm a pretty princess. Put more on my face. Oh, look, I'm doing it right now. I have a problem. I need Glowers Anonymous, but I don't want to go to Glowers Anonymous, but I think I need Glowers Anonymous. I'm just going to keep adding more stuff to my face. I have a problem. I think I even just got highlighter in my hair somewhere. What is that? I don't know. But this golden toned Rodeo Drive highlighter from Ofra has been my like standard high level highlighter in my beauty space since I received this from Boxycharm 2016, 2017. I mean, it's been a while and I am still on it, but look how much pan. Make sure you could see this. Can you see this? All the pan in here. It started with a tiny peak of pan and now it's like spreading to this center area. I am so pleased with how much pan I'm seeing on this. And I'm excited to continue to use it. But this was the first for me that made me go, how did they make you? Magic? Gold? Fairies? I would believe it. So I already had gotten this from one of you guys being so sweet to me, sending this to me. So when I did get this in a Boxycharm, I sent it to one of you because I like to share the love just like you guys like to share the love. And this is no surprise to you that have been here before. This is my Becca Champagne Pop. I got this in like the summer of last year. Would you please recognize how much pan is on this baby right now? I mean, we could even compare it to the Ofra and it's still like, this is ahead of the Ofra. I have not stopped using this. Let's do a comparison, shall we? I mean, oh, holy moly. I am obsessed with highlight. I must look like a glazed donut at all times in person. I don't even understand what I must look like. I must blind Adam every time he walks in the room. With my beauty, obviously. Either way, guys, I love this. I have not stopped using it on my face, on my eyes, on the collarbones, on the shoulders. This color and tone for so many skin tones works great. I also have, but have not hit pan on yet, the Prosecco Pop. This one is more warm toned. It's a little bit deeper and darker, so I tend to put this more on the body. Champagne Pop, all over the face, all over the eyes, all over the shoulders, all over my body. I might sleep in it at night. I don't know. I might just bathe in it if I could ever get a whole bath of it. I would just get in. I almost wonder if I'm going to finish this up by the end of this year because I have plowed through this so quickly. Again, I think I've had this 7-8 months and I'm obsessed. Glowers Anonymous. They're gonna find me one night and they're just gonna like bag me, drag me into the back of a trunk somewhere and make me go to a meeting and be like, glow less, lady. Okay, so now I'm making it over to my eye products. That includes some eyeshadow palettes. I've got 3 palettes in front of me, some mini palettes, some Super Shock shadows, and some singles. So let's just get into it. Something that may seem a little bit easier to hit pan on, but it's really not considering how many I have in my collection, are some of the Super Shock shadows and some of the Ace Beauté Glimmer shadows is what they call their version. Now theirs is more expensive than ColourPop. I have a lot of ColourPop, like a whole caddy full of these, and I've recently kind of gone through them to let you guys know which ones are good, which ones I had to get rid of because some of them dried out. It's a thing. A few that I have hit pan on, I don't even know if they have all these shades anymore because they do tend to rotate out their makeup because they have so many products. ColourPop, you don't sleep, we know it. These pinker tones that have some coral to them like Itty Bitty were my jam when I first started my channel. I reached for these all the time, and I had like 7 almost in this exact same color, just a little variant different, and then I'd wear them all together. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I tend to get on like a track of something and just ride that till the wheels fall off, and then I try something else. I have that thing. Some other shades that I have definitely hit pan on and loved. This one is Going Rogue. This is a beautiful shade for the lid, and it just kind of like gives you this creamy lid base, and then you could do a bunch of stuff with your crease or the outer corner. And this one here from Ace Beauté is Ice Latte. I wore this so much last summer, all over the lid and just with some like mascara, and then I went out the door. It was a beautiful, fast, easy look that I still really like. These are fast and easy, and honestly, when I was recovering from surgery last year, these were my go-tos because they were fast and simple. You press it on your lid, put on a little mascara, and it looks like you tried, and it took 5 minutes. Sometimes that's all I need. There's more in my drawer as well, but this is pretty much getting the gist for you that I've definitely hit some pan on my Super Shocks and singles from Ace Beauté. Love it. So next I'm gonna be jumping into the eyeshadow. Here comes Coopy.
What's up, Super Cooper?
Okay, so next I'm going to be jumping into the eyeshadow palettes and singles. A single that actually, you know what, I'm going to talk about the single when I get to a bigger palette because that's really where I used a lot of this. So let's jump into a trio that I got from Boxycharm a long time ago. But some of you have let me know you still have this and love this too. I love traveling with this and did so 3 times last year, I think. This is the IBY Beauty Three's Company Trio Eyeshadow Palette. I have definitely hit pan on this baby and this baby. I think I only had pan last year on this one, and now, because of last year and using it so much, I've hit pan on the center shade. These are really buttery and nice, even still today. Like, these are really good. I remember getting this little tiny eyeshadow palette, and this is before we got big eyeshadow palettes from Boxycharm. That's back in the day before they became a little bit more mainstream, and something like this was a big deal back in the day, a huge deal, because we used to get like singles every now and again, but if you got like multiple in one, it was a moment. And when I put these on my eyes, I couldn't believe how pretty these were and how nice they were. And this is also when Snapchat was more of a thing than Instagram. So keep in mind, times have changed since this came out. I remember seeing Jessica Braun in one of her mornings when she was getting ready to go teach back in the day. She pulled this out and was like, guys, I've not touched this. I got this in a Boxycharm. I can't believe how good it is. And I was like messaging her on Snapchat, which she probably never even opened. And I was like, yes, it's amazing. Let me tell you all about it. Because I was so excited that somebody else that I watched on YouTube was loving this tiny little thing that kind of seems like maybe a throwaway compared to big palettes, big things. This is so good, even to this day. And I've had this for years now. It still performs so beautifully. I'm hoping that all of this is translating on camera right now. It looks so good. It doesn't look chunky. It doesn't look patchy. It doesn't have a scent to it. I am still loving this, and I travel with it. It's a perfect tiny little trio to go places with. It's nice. So when I'm traveling, I generally take this palette and one other small palette that I got about 2 years ago. No, maybe 2.5 now. This is the Tarte Leave Your Mark palette. I fell in love with this palette like 2.5 years ago, and this is the only palette I brought with me when I moved across the country, like as that personal makeup bag that you know you're not going to find anything else for probably weeks on end when you move across the country. If you've never done it, trust me, it's stressful and a huge pain in the ass. And this is the only eyeshadow palette, I do believe, along with this, that I actually pulled aside to be like, yeah, I know I can use this for a duration of time and enjoy my eye look, not get bored, try a couple different things, and it's consistent. That's the big deal with this. And at that point, I hadn't tried a lot of Tarte eyeshadows, so I wasn't sure what to expect. But I could tell you clearly, this is the dark shade that I love, that I use in my crease all the time. If I'm sitting here going, you know what, I don't have a lot of time for an eye look, I need something easy and go, I still reach for this one palette, put a little bit of the Speak Up tone here that is just a matte shade because it has mostly shimmers in it, all over my lid, jump straight into Shake It Off, so it does look dirty here, sorry. She's a dirty girl, but we all have a past, you know? This is called Shake It Off. I put this all through my crease, and then I'll just literally toss my finger here into the either Encourage or the Love highlight, spread it all over my lid, put on some mascara, and be done. And it gives you a very beautiful, polished, fast, easy look. This is a very neutrally palette, which I know that seems really like, of course that's gonna be easy to use when you travel, Nichole, but the fact that the shimmers in my lid and on my crease looked amazing every time, not every palette can do that. This is something that I still reach for a lot, and I love it. I just can't get enough of this one little palette. And I think they have a few others this size that I've always thought about going to get, because I have so many here, though I don't. Do you have any of the other like smaller palettes that kind of feel like the one-offs from Tarte from like back in the day? Do you have any of these that you love? Because this one is still like, so good. Ooh, a Boxycharm eyeshadow palette that I had the cool down and the warm up, but I've only kept the warm up, is the Studio Makeup on the Go. I took this baby on my honeymoon. I took this so many places when I got it. Again, this is back before Boxycharm was giving us Fenty, before we were getting these big palettes from Tarte and stuff like that. This is something that I was so excited about, and I really like these shadows. Yeah, there is some kick up in them, but there's also some in the Fenty Beauty palette that you saw me use this morning, so I'm not complaining. This has a lot of warm, neutral looks in it. You can go very day-to-day with it, or you can go sultry with it. And as you can tell, I have hit pan definitely on this top shade here for shimmer, because I always love a good shimmer on the lid, on the corners, under the brow. But then I've also hit a tiny peak of pan, I believe in the past year, on this, more of this burnt orange shade here that no one's shocked if you see that, because you know I love that tone. Oh, I covered up some of the pan doing that though. Now I'm digging for pan. I'm gonna be like covered in eyeshadow palettes that I love by the end of this video. That's how you know I love all of these, because they got some pan. Okay, so the eyeshadow palette, the last big one that I'm gonna talk about, and then a small one that goes with it, because the reason that Jaclyn Hill, and I know she's polarizing, so if you don't like her, this is just about the eyeshadow palette, not the person behind it. This is the original Jaclyn Hill palette that, if you are unfamiliar, I recently shared with you guys that Jen Loves Reviews is an amazing beauty channel that goes deep behind the scenes and into products. And she did some investigating and found out that the original Jaclyn Hill palette back from, what, 2017, 2018, is apparently no more. The formula doesn't exist anymore. The newer one, they do still sell this, but it's the newer formula, not the original formula. And people really preferred the original formula. That's a whole thing. I will link her video below. She's far more articulate and knows about that more than me. I'm just talking about pan today. But I love this palette. The one thing I have always said about this palette is that it is missing a creamy matte shade. And I don't know if she said this in a video or if she said this on Instagram. I can't remember which, because sometimes they go both ways with that. She said that many artists that were using her palette for big commercial work things, they loved this palette. It was stunning. The only thing it was missing was a cream matte. Everyone said it, so I was totally on point with that. The matte that I use with this is a Wet n Wild product that I have always loved, and I just stuck my finger in it. Shoot! It's the shade Brule. This is the shade Brule from Wet n Wild. I got this in like a 3-pack years ago off Amazon, because this is a beautiful cream shade. It is still super stunning to this day, and I have been working on this one for over a year and a half now. 2 years maybe? Could be. It is a beautiful nude. It is the nude that This palette really, really need it. I actually have had this for a while and have been using it even before this, but this is absolutely where all this pan probably came from because I loved this palette when I first got it, and you see pan on the top row there. And then I used this with it too because I needed a cream matte for my lids. I did. I believe where I first hit pan on this was this top highlighting shade up here that I used a ton for, I think even the face sometimes, but the eyes, the inner corner, under the brow. And then I believe in this past year, I've opened this one up even more to a good transition shade. I think the next one I'm definitely gonna be seeing pan on is the shade Pukey here, because this is totally one of my favorite colors from this palette. It is a pukey color, but it is so stunning on a lot of skin tones, and it's a great transition shade for the crease. You could go brown with this, you could go yellow with this, you could go a lot of different ways with it. You could add color to this. There's a lot of options. But I think that's gonna be the next one that I see pan on in this palette. And considering how big it is, that's pretty impressive. And considering how many eyeshadow palettes I have in my beauty space, which is a lot. I'm gonna be so annoyed at myself when in like, I don't know, a day or two, I'm going to use something else and I'm like, oh, that has pan on it too. I forgot to mention that. That always happens to me after I do one of these videos because, as you know, I try to work my way through all my products, or at least for the most part, I try to work my way through them and see some pan. Guys, thank you so much for diving into this pan video with me. I am loving seeing more and more pan on my products. Do you have any pan on any of your bronzers, any of your eyeshadow palettes? Do you have pan on everything? Some things? I'm working hard to see more and more pan as I kind of like work my way through my makeup. Some things just keep lasting the test of time, so I get to keep using them, which is so awesome. I love that. And some things I know I will end up using up and it will be gone before I know it because it's that good. And some things I will probably just have to repurchase because it's so stunning on the face. Thank you guys so much for watching and going through my makeup with me today. I hope you're all staying happy and healthy. And a fun little quote that my boss keeps saying to everybody to keep morale up is stay positive and test negative. So I hope you're doing great. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. If you happen to be new to my loud, weird, crazy, unique channel, hi new friends. I hope you take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on all the loud, weird, crazy, uniquer by the day videos I do every single week. Bye friends.